Welcome to Biker Life Radio with Chuck-n-Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon on 1490 AM WWPR. And now, here's Chuck-n-Deb.
Hi, I'm Chuck.
And Deb.
And welcome to Biker Life Radio. We're so truly grateful and thankful that you've joined us today. We have got a fantastic show lined up just for you.
Biker Life is for those who are inspired to ride and those who inspire others to ride. We are here to reveal the truth behind the motorcycle mystique and bring real-life stories of the biker lifestyle.
All right, fantastic. Well, we've got some sponsors.
Today's show sponsors are Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So if you are ready to crank up your engines, put your chins in the wind, knees in the breeze, seats in the saddle, then hang on and let's get rolling.
All right, let's kickstart the show right now, Deb. What do you got to say? Because I just showed up again.
No.
I'm a little bit late walking in the door, as a matter of fact.
Not this again. How are we supposed to do a show if you just show up?
Well, that's why you're in charge.
I don't know about that. But, you know, I guess the things that have been on my mind today as we're in the middle of being on the show is, you know, people don't always realize how difficult an event is, like we just completed Thunder by the Bay. It takes quite a while to kind of get everything back to some sort of normalcy.
Really, you think? You know, one of the things you're forgetting is your age.
Oh, what
so
does
that probably plays a big part in it. You know, if you were a little bit younger, I know if I was a little bit younger, it probably wouldn't mess with me all that much. Maybe I'd need a Sunday to recover, you know, have some tacos, and that's about it. But the next day, Monday came, I'd be ready to rock and roll, but not so much after Thunder by the Bay.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, on the way into the studio today, I started to hobble. My right knee felt like it was stuck.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and this is all your fault for making me carry all that heavy equipment into Thunder by the Bay.
Well, whatever. You can always blame Deb, and I'm kind of an adult here, so I will take it if you want to give it. But
I'm always wanting to give it.
Here's the reality is that, you know, we do have a lot of equipment when we set up at an event. And yes, some of it can be very heavy. And so I apologize that you chose to be the man and I'll carry the big one.
Yeah, well, I didn't quite feel like a man, especially when I'm walking and I'm huffing and puffing and I'm telling you, Deb, the stitches are breaking on the handle. I could just hear them popping.
I remember.
That's how heavy all that stuff was.
Well, I did, you know, I guess as much as you try to prepare, you don't always prepare for everything. And that was the one thing I did not prepare very well for, was lugging the stuff back and forth each and every evening. So the next morning, though, I did make things better by bringing a wheeling cart to help with some of that heavy stuff.
Yes, you did. In fact, we had good neighbors that helped us out. We had Augie
on one side.
The licorice guy.
Yep.
Actually, he lives real close to where we live, so that was interesting.
Yep.
And he was a big help. And then we had Gil and Irene.
Eileen.
I called her Irene there when I was there.
Remember that song?
Eileen.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that was her brother.
Jim,
who was on the show last week with Dutch.
Right.
As alive. So that went real well. So it was a lot of fun. We were in the right spot for sure. At least I felt like we were.
Yeah. But I found out today that a friend of mine's mother was there and didn't come look us up. And that was a little bit of a heartbreak.
Well, I think there were several people that never really made it out to the vendors.
Oh,
people went to the beer, went to the entertainment. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people, and sometimes I'll do this. You know, I've seen all the vendors. I don't need to see the vendors.
Right.
Or you go to the vendors because you're looking for something in particular.
Correct.
But if you're just coming there for the entertainment, for a couple drinks, well, you don't even go over there and check it out. Unfortunately, that's just the reality.
And unfortunately, that's what happened. So I would have,
really?
I would have loved for her, and I would have loved to have seen her. So that was
I don't even know who you're talking about.
So that's okay.
Oh, you're just waving me off on the radio.
I know.
You guys can't see that, but she waved me off right here just like that.
All I can say is that Sharon broke my heart because she didn't come by and see us.
Okay,
and I would have loved to have seen her.
Well, I guess you'll have to fill me in on that later because I'm out of touch, apparently. Way out of touch.
Is that because of your age or just because you're out of touch?
Look, we brought the age up, or I did once, and we're not going to stick on that very long because, time's ticking by, Deb.
Right. And the unfortunate part is that this week's been a little bit busier than we both probably would have liked. So we didn't really get an opportunity to get writing in, although I am planning.
I did get writing in.
Oh, you did. That's right. 2 days. Absolutely right. All right.
You don't recall Deb had a class and not a writing class. It was a different class. And so I was able to ride by on my bike and rev it up as I went by and rub it in while she was working.
Well, and it was a total distraction for me. So I kind of look over there and I see the high bars and I know who it is because I'm hearing the engine. And goodness to gracious, it was you. And I put this big smile on my face and tried to keep on going. But someone in the class caught me and was like, what was that? And I'm like, oh, it's just the sound of motorcycles. I love it. Wish I was out there doing that. But that's okay.
So you lied.
No.
You're a liar.
No. I'm not. I know how much Dutch hates liars, so no, I'm not a liar.
So you just sidestepped the answer, the question in a way.
Right.
Well, you were actually honest. You just didn't do full disclosure.
No, and I don't need to. In that setting, I did not need to. It was a completely different type of class that I was teaching, and it wasn't the right place.
Yeah, I did that to you 2 days in a row, and then I did it to the judge. Because he played like he had to work at home on Sunday.
Does he even know you did that?
I don't know if he knows or not, but I rode in front of his house, revved it up, took off around the backside, revved it up, sort of was like trying to rub it on him, even though I knew he wasn't out back doing the work he was saying he was doing. I just don't believe it.
Thank goodness you're a friend.
I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, thank goodness you're a friend. That's all I got to say about that.
I never said that. Did anybody?
Well, anyway.
Yeah, no, Dutch gets it.
Yeah, absolutely right. We all have responsibilities outside of writing that sometimes we just have to take care of.
Well, whatever you say, Deb.
Okay, so what I think we want to maybe shift gears with next, because I do believe our listeners are all about Dutch Van Alstin.
Of course they are.
Absolutely, and who wouldn't be?
That's right.
Look at that nice shiny head he wears, that nice hairdo. He's got it going on, and he always has the most awesome tank top attire.
I was going to say, that's so funny we're on the same page with that. He's going out in 40-degree weather in a tank top.
I know, and that's funny. And
he's wondered why he's sick. Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's sort of a no-brainer, right? Well, that sort of answers some things right there. I think.
That we didn't talk about sick in the head, but absolutely, I gave him a hard time on Sunday when I saw him, and I said, you were out riding on Saturday. I bet you were in a tank top, and he said, absolutely right.
Yep,
sure was.
I think he did text me something about mentally deranged. That I texted him that. I don't remember doing that, but now I'm saying it right here, live on the radio. See what you're missing out on?
All right. So we do need to make sure we get to his segment because I am certain that it's going to be wonderful.
Oh, absolutely right. This is going to be a good one. You're going to love this. Without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce Dutch.
Dutch Van Alstin is the author of Demons Rising, the story of the Wayward Scout, book number 1 in his Life Behind Bars book series. And soon coming out, you've got to stay tuned because book number 2, the story of the lost child, will be on horizon. And you don't want to miss that one because that is an amazing book as well.
I feel so left out because Dutch and Deb have all these private talks about the book and they get to, these little whispers and things that go on. I don't know if maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe I need to pay a little bit more special close attention to Dutch.
If you just read the book, then we could have very wide open discussion. So maybe you just need to read the book.
Somebody has to work, all right?
Oh, gosh. All right. So his upcoming book is Rebellious Youth, the story of the lost child. And don't forget that that's on its way.
So here we go. Without further ado, here is Dutch Van Alstin in raw and unapologetic.
Hi. That is as good as it's going to get with my opening statement for now. I, a supposed master of satire, wit, and double entendres, Just cannot seem to come up with an entertaining and clever opening statement, so hi is all I have to offer for now. So, hi, as I speak with eloquence and grace from the sound studios known as Dutch's Man Cave, located in the sun coast of Florida. As stated, I am Dutch Van Alstin. I am the author of Demons Rising, The Story of the Wayward Scout, book number 1 in the Life Behind Bars book series. And I am raw and unapologetic. And as you can tell, my voice is still a little bit raw. I am also the author of the soon-to-be-published book number 2 of the Life Behind Bars book series, Rebellious Youth, The Story of the Lost Child. The smart and pretty half of the dynamic duo known as Chuck-n-Deb finished Rebellious Youth last week sometime and gave me some good and pertinent feedback. She unwittingly gave a writer the best compliment you can give the other night. When the two of them were out having fun, they didn't invite me. I mean, who doesn't want an emotionally unbalanced third wheel with a hair trigger and a possible drinking problem to accompany them, right? Anywho, she texted me a joke about Chuck, but it came straight from a rather seemingly obscure part of the book revolving around the main character's old lady. And I thought to myself, the book really did resonate with her. So thanks be to Miss Deb for her insight and her attention to detail. I really do appreciate that. I'm excited for this book to come out, really. The underpinning theme of Demons Rising was the concept of family and what it means. Rebellious Youth's underlying theme is that of acceptance, is the best word I can come up with, and how it's defined and the depth of it in the biker subculture. I don't really know if I'm ever going to be able to write a more interesting and complex character like Elf, short for John Elfman, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to create a more interesting and enigmatic character. I mean, he's just, I don't know. We'll see, because I love to write, and as I've mentioned before, I have loved it since I was 8 or 9, writing short stories on an old Smith Corona. Not like the virus or the beer, don't worry. I want to fall back into last week's segment and follow up on a comment I made describing the presence of the Sarasota County Sheriffs as a military-like, and I think I also used the word disgusting. I received some positive feedback, but I also received some negative feedback from obedient little drones who seem to forget what the underpinning of being a biker is all about, or at least it was back in my day, and just slavishly castigated me in support of something they didn't even witness. That's what bugs me the most. You weren't even there. These comments were from people that were like out of state, and I don't want to embarrass one man who simply wrote, "Next time you're being robbed, call a crackhead instead." I say I don't want to embarrass him because that is truly the dumbest comment any person can make, other than just like reciting the lyrics to Hot Cross Buns as a response. I have a hard time believing anyone who says stuff like this truly believes they just made some sort of game, set, match response. But you never know, because with all the great things the internet has given us, it has also given a voice to people that are with truly limited intellect. I mean, they used to just blather to one another in their select ilk in their dark corners of the world, but now they can shout their idiocy from across the web, and it gives them relevance, which is sad. Be that as it may, my point, and I do have one, was the fact that there were people who were angry because I didn't drink the Kool-Aid poured from the rusted-out old pitcher made of "they're there for your safety, and they're just doing your job." My issue isn't with law enforcement collectively. Yes, there are anecdotal examples of good and bad everywhere. I don't hate cops. I hate arrogant people. And too many arrogant people are drawn to lines of work where they can act out these little neuroses they have. I don't know when exercising your rights became a criminal offense in some people's minds. Those of you with this sheepish outlook of, if you have nothing to hide, then why not let them search? You're not capable of seeing things from a perspective of a citizen, a free citizen. I despise and I hate making Nazi references. I really do, because it's so played out by anyone who disagrees with you is now a Nazi. Usually said by people who are woefully ignorant to who the Nazis were. Just for a little education, they were socialists. The Nazi Party's official name was the Nationalist Socialist Workers' Party. But anyway, a little education for you. It was the Nazis who coined that phrase that if you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. Well, in a free society, I, as a citizen, not a subject, do not have to prove that I have nothing to hide. I don't understand those of you who wear these ride free or live free or any variants of freedom patches or shirts are often the same ones who just become enraged because you don't just assume every person in law enforcement is pure and entitled to respect. I have news for you. No occupation is entitled to that. There are these sacred cows in society like law enforcement and teachers and clergy and farmers and truckers that are supposed to be above reproach. But do you know what all those occupations consist of? Are you ready? People. Okay, people. And if you don't think people can be dishonest, lazy, corrupt, arrogant, then you have not been paying attention in life. Yes, bikers too. They succumb to those frailties as well. I mean, nobody's perfect. And if you think there's some sort of mythical fairy dust sprinkled on one group of people that makes them devoid of human frailties, well, you are just plain wrong. How can you be a good farmer or a good trucker if you don't admit there are a handful that are not? What are you comparing it to? And no, I don't want to be a trucker. I've watched those guys make 90-degree turns that a Volkswagen couldn't do. I don't know how they do it. And no, I don't want to be a farmer. I don't want to work 20 hours a day and work my magic against broken equipment and environmental laws and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. It's an insult to any profession to believe that they are above scrutiny. They have the right to earn their mark in life like everyone else. Nothing is handed to you. I hate to disillusion you, children, but law enforcement are not all brave. The little coward deputy at the Parkland school shootings proved that. He hid outside while kids got slaughtered inside the building. Not all farmers are hard workers. Not all teachers are special because they work with children. Not all clergy are honest, and so on, and so on, and so on. I've met cops I like. I've met ones I despise. But in all cases, it was they who set the tone, not me. If you think it's disrespectful for me to say, no, you cannot search me or my motorcycle, then you have no clue on how people think and operate and live in a land of butterflies and rainbows. And I don't want to live there. I had a burglar break into my home a couple of years ago who I escorted out at gunpoint. She was a teenage girl and high as a California redwood. I assessed the situation and did not feel the need to take a teenager's life that day. However, the police showed up because the alarm went off and a deputy flat out lied to me and said he had to see my gun. I told him that he did not, and I was not going to give it to him. Why would I respect the guy who flat out lies to me in my home? Finally, a sergeant intervened when he saw the debate getting heated, and he agreed with me that no such law exists. I don't care what your policy is. It doesn't trump law. Now, that having been said, I once took time out to write and tell the sheriffs how impressed I was with two of their deputies when they served me with a fraudulent restraining order filed by this gutless turd named John of Englewood, Florida. I mean, it was a pack of lies. I mean, in fact, when we went to court, he didn't even testify to some of the stuff he wrote, and he was just laughed out of court in a matter of minutes. I mean, John is just a whiny little millennial who was once investigated by the Sarasota County Sheriff himself for detonating bombs at 1 o'clock in the morning in his backyard of a suburban neighborhood. He nearly killed someone. They had to airlift one victim to the trauma center in Bradenton. Other debris smashed through porches and windows. And anyway, I mean, the guy is a total worthless piece of human garbage, in my opinion. And he's the VP of Operation PAR, showing how much they value their integrity. But anyway, I was downright pissed, and I vented to those two deputies. And you know what? They were empathetic. They gave me the courtesy of listening to me. Even though they probably didn't care one bit about what I was thinking, they treated me like a person. Now, you want me to treat all of them the same? The arrogant liar who treated me like I was a subject of an investigation rather than a homeowner who was the victim of a burglar, and the two professional deputies who took a few seconds out of their day to use a little bit of active listening skills and some empathy. The only thing that made those two even have anything remotely in common was the uniform. When you view people as individuals, you are a free man. When you view people in the collective way, you are a subject. Period. Okay? I don't know what else to say on this. I stand by what I said. It was an unnecessary, disgusting display of force. And I'm not backing off from that. Oh, goody. Bubbles has an opinion on cops as well. Okay. Interesting. So you were at a Jello wrestling match out in Daytona at an after-hours party with a bunch of girls. Oh, and it was raided by the Fuzz? Yes. Then what happened? 2 of them burst out from the cake and said you were under arrest. No, I am pretty certain police standard uniforms do not consist of Speedos and a flashlight. His badge was where? Oh, you didn't see his badge until the Speedos came off. I gotta tell you, dear, I'm not enjoying this conversation. Yeah, I'm sure they did have handcuffs. Only Officer Dale had cuffs. What did the other one have? That was Officer Chip? Yeah, somehow I kind of figured that. Yeah, a strip frisk is usually not standard, no Bubbles. Well, if they bought you a drink first, well, then okay, that's the standard bear to get a woman, well, bear in today's world, I suppose. No, I appreciate you lending a little jocularity this segment. What does jocularity mean? It means humor. Yeah, I guess it would have been easier just to say that. Allow me to offer you contrition for using words that are too big. Contrition? It means get me another drink. Okay? Thanks. And as I said last week and the week before, etc., I have a plethora of letters and questions backed up, and this will mark 5 of the last 6 weeks. I was unable to manage my time effectively. Please forgive me. But if you want your question read on the air, private message me at my website. Just get your message to me somehow. And I will send you an autographed copy of my book. Don't forget to hit like on my Life Behind Bars series Facebook page. Visit my website, www.dutchvanalstin.com. Take a look at my book. Sign up for my newsletter. I only ask for an email. I'm not selling your data to Chinese computer hackers, I promise. Hit like on Biker Life Radio, Chuck-n-Deb show. And we have no events hammered down as of yet, but keep checking the Facebook page and my website for new events. I mean, we all got to get together and drink again and raise some holy hell. We had a lot of fun doing this. So until next week, folks, remember, if a person with multiple personalities threatens suicide, call 911 because it's considered a hostage situation. And I'm just kidding. Don't ever call 911. That one was for you, Jesse James. And for my idiosyncratic, I like that badass word, brain to your ears, this is Yabba Dabba Dutch, signing off.
What a great segment. He just does an amazing job of putting all those words together. And what I liked is, I've read Demons Rising and I've read Rebellious Youth, and the way he summarized them was pretty spot on because I would have never really thought of it in that context. Demons Rising being about family and what that means, and, Rebellious Youth all about acceptance. So
you would agree with all that?
I do agree with it. It's just a little bit of a deeper...
I would hope so. He's the author.
Well,
at least he claims to be. What I found out after doing some research on the internet, he's a ghostwriter.
Oh, wow.
He didn't really write all that stuff.
Wow. But he talks like so eloquently about it.
Hold on.
You better clarify.
Let me set the record straight. Yeah. I am just kidding. He has to have written this because he knows every little detail in the whole entire book. Well, it is, of course, about his whole life.
Well, maybe. No, he says it's fiction. You cannot say that.
Nonfiction? Fiction.
He says it's fiction. Craziness. So, yeah, I just hadn't really kind of categorized it in that form or fashion. But it makes me think a little bit deeper about the book and also the concepts he discussed about stereotyping because, I think that's really what brought us to doing this show all together was the stereotype in the motorcycling world world about bikers and why it's so important to us to kind of uncover and reveal the truth behind the motorcycle mystique and the biker mystique.
Well, that's exactly why we got started. And I've been shocked, quite honestly, to find it's all true.
Yeah, right. No, I was going to say, elaborate a little bit more on that concept of shocked about the motorcycle
No, that there's just
mystique.
so much really out there. That's all.
There is. And the problem or the challenge is, I guess, is that we all become so accustomed to our little piece of the pie of whatever it is that we're involved in. So, if we ride with the hog chapter and we ride Harleys, that's all we think about in the world of riding, unless there's some rival like the, sport bikes or something like that. But
so you're saying people sometimes have a tendency to put their blinders on?
Yes, I think people
But it's
do.
not really that necessarily. It's just enjoying where you are, I would think.
Maybe if you're in the moment and truly part of that. Yes, I think you could. But we've learned so much about so many different types of
we
motorcycling.
haven't even tapped into it all yet.
That is so
That's
right.
the interesting part about doing this show. It's because we continue to learn, grow multiple different facets of motorcycling, and we love every bit of it. I mean, we're so, we can't wait to get on an adventure bike.
Right.
I can't wait to go dirt biking again, all sorts of good stuff. So, it's brought out, and I don't know what the right word is, but brought to my, I don't know. I keep
Your
mumbling
awareness.
and you're not helping me.
No,
There you go.
it's
Thank you.
you
Help
become aware
awareness.
of other opportunities out there in the motorcycling world, and I totally agree with that 100%. But I think maybe also they deal with stereotypes probably in their culture of riding too, not just
Who's they?
the adventure riders or the sport
Sure.
bikes, and they all kind of carry their own little mystique. So I think it's exciting and great that we have the opportunity to kind of bring back the veil or uncover any of those mystiques.
Right.
Even lady riders. I think about that group and I go, why do people ride? Why do they choose to ride? And we can put a simple statement. Everybody has their own reason to ride.
Well, they did that movie. Why Do We Ride? Remember that?
I do.
We saw it a few years ago. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I stumped you.
No, yeah, you did.
I think that's what it was called.
Right. So
Yep.
we may have to go revisit that. But,
Sure.
it's so easy to say everyone has their own purpose for writing. But I believe that, kind of coming back to Dutch's books, there's probably some very common elements, too, that bring an adventure bike rider to that world. I found that many of them like to camp and they like to be outdoors in a different way than maybe someone that's a Harley rider or someone that's a sport bike rider. Maybe the sport bike riders, and again, I don't want to generalize people, but there's a particular reason that they're drawn to the type of motorcycling that they do.
I think maybe it's all one thing in common. Maybe it's the thrill.
Right.
Maybe it's the wind therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like you said, there's a number of different reasons why, and we can't state every reason why somebody wants to ride
No.
and the particular type of riding they do, so to speak.
Right. Because I think that they all bring a little bit of a different level of personality out in someone. For me, it's, the thrill of adventure riding. And I'm just going to bring this up is that, we recently watched a movie called
Phantom Lake.
Thank you.
It wasn't
Phantom.
a movie. It was a series,
documentary
on
series.
Primetime, Amazon.
Amazon Prime,
Yep.
right? We need our kudos plug
Anyway,
for that.
yep.
So again, that kind of showed a different perspective. And so as we watched that series, for me, I was like, well, what in me would want to do that type of motorcycling? And I think it's the thrill of the unknown. It's the thrill of the adventure. It's the terrain is different. And, the idea of that, could I really handle dropping the bike 20 times and still get up and have the determination to get to the end? And, some of those are thoughts that you think about when you look at this world of adventure riding. It's a whole different perspective.
Yeah, but and this is sort of where you started. I think what it comes down to is there's all this vast array of different types of motorcycling. But what I seem to find and what I notice is that we all respect one another.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know what I'm saying? So because we have a common interest of being on two wheels, and in some cases even three.
Right, true. And I definitely do not take anything away from the people that are on three wheels versus two. I think that's the coolest thing ever that they've got all those different types of machines out there.
It gives an opportunity from somebody to ride, or, even Mikey. Mikey, had no physical disabilities or anything like, and I'm not saying that people that trikes have that.
Have that, right.
But a lot of times that's what people grow into, if you will. But Mikey, he just got one. I don't know why he got one, but he rode that thing like crazy, didn't he?
Yep, and then he chose back to get off the three wheels and go back to two. So, and he's been an adventure bike rider too, and done all sorts of really great stuff.
And actually, we're going to try to get Mikey on the show. As a matter of fact, Mikey, if you're listening, you promised to come on the show.
Yeah,
Mikey would be like our gearhead. This guy's he's really technical, really a techie guy, and he's always reading and staying up on top of things.
Right.
And he would be a great guy to have on the show for our listeners. So, Mikey, we're coming after you. This is your call out. I know you're listening. So, next week, all right? Anyway, sorry, listeners, just wanted to pick on somebody while I had the chance to do it.
Sure.
We love you, Mikey.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, all those different aspects of riding are things that, you may not necessarily think about. But as we have progressed over the last almost year that we have been doing this show, there have been so many things pop up for us that we just never anticipated in the motorcycling world or riding world. And I think that's super cool.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be able to meet other people and to find out what turns them on about riding and learn the different aspects from riding. We haven't got totally into the racing of the motorcycles, but that's something that interests me. I love the way those guys lean through the curves and everything, and I can't wait for the day to actually see one of them live. I've been to some of the formula racing and some of the things like that. I can only imagine how interesting the motorcycle races would be. Speaking of which, that's going to be coming up in Daytona. They will have that motorcycle race that starts off the Daytona Bike Week, I think.
I believe so too, and that's what I was saying. I want to research that a little bit more because, that would be a very cool thing to attend, is be able to see that riding on that track.
Yeah, maybe we ought to do that this year. Maybe we ought to take a look at our calendar, see if we can work that in somehow.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. A lot of good stuff. So, along with the adventure bike riders we've been learning about, and I hate that we keep talking about it over and over again, but I know you and I are both excited about going out and doing it.
Yes.
And I don't know where you're going with this show today, Deb, and you already sort of brought up Phantom Lake a little bit.
Yeah.
Were we going to talk about that at all?
Sure,
or what did you have in mind?
Let's dive into Phantom Lake a little bit. Give a little bit of history about the show.
Okay, well, first of all, we did post it on our Biker Life radio page on Facebook. So there was an article on that, and after I read about it, I told Deb, here's what you need to do. She was sitting in the living room about ready to fall asleep while I was working. And I said, hey, go out there to Amazon, bring up this, this series. And she did. So we sit down, we start watching it. And again, it's called Phantom Lake. And the guy that put it together is supposedly, from what I've read, he is the pastor. Did I say the word right?
A pastor.
Okay.
Yep.
Of the third largest growing church in the nation. Okay, so I thought this was neat, and the idea and the concept behind it sounded really neat. Now, Deb, I don't want to go into a lot of details on the show.
Right.
Actually, what I want to do is I want to encourage our listeners to go watch it,
okay,
and then I want feedback.
Yes.
I don't want to give my opinion.
Okay.
I don't want to give my thoughts. I want to hear what our listeners have to say.
Okay.
So that means, listeners, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. So you either do it through Facebook on the page, you message us. Hey, we've got a voicemail system that you'll be able to find that you can voicemail. Leave us a voicemail message on what you think about Phantom Lake. Matter of fact, this is what I want to do. And let's see, I think I'm going to put it out. If it's not already there, I'm going to say the Chuck-n-Deb Show, Chuck-n-Deb Show.com/voicemail.
Okay.
All right. So go out to that and leave us a voicemail message about what you think about Phantom Lake, and we'll play it on the radio.
Yes.
All right.
And
then we'll correspond to that.
I love that because it does give people an opportunity maybe to see. It's on Amazon Prime is where we found it.
And we're not getting paid anything to say this. So.
I know, but it was worthwhile. It definitely took me from almost falling asleep to staying up later than I should have 2 nights in a row to finish the series. So
I was going to say, we did binge watch it.
We did.
So
But it was about 7 days, so it wasn't really a long series, so to speak.
No, but could you go ahead and explain? I was going to explain the concept, but maybe you could do it better. The concept of why he put this together. It was actually to encourage people to grow.
Right.
He felt that the best way to get people to grow through certain circumstances, and I'm not saying it in his words exactly, these are mine, was to actually put them on a motorcycle. And he put people on motorcycles, and they were adventure motorcycles.
Right, they were
off-road
adventure
motorcycles.
They were on
enduros,
they were called dual sports, so they're on-road and off-road bikes, and they were adventure bikes because they very much were equipped to be on-road and off-road.
Right.
And they were a variety of different models and styles. It didn't look like they were a brand new fleet they pulled out of a dealership to stick them on, as you'll see when you listen and watch the show or the series, whatever you call it. But so it was an interesting journey for everyone, including the leader. And I thought it was, the concepts and ideas when it was explained originally when the show started, I was like, that's amazing because, I have a little bit of experience in my life of doing some things that would push you to the limit.
Correct.
And so I know sometimes what it takes to get over certain obstacles to get you to that next place in your progression or training or whatever the case may be.
Break through some fears.
Correct. Yeah. So
false emotions appearing real.
Right. And so I was so excited to see that these riders, and maybe they were experienced and maybe they weren't, but, kind of pushed through. First of all, they did actually have kind of an interviewing obstacle. And I thought it was interesting, just the thought process of jumping out there and doing that if you weren't really experienced was really an act of faith and an act of courage, I thought. So
what does that mean, an interviewing process?
I think, you missed the very beginning of that because I had started it, but there was a process where they were invited out to do an obstacle course and to see how they handled, I don't know about the motorcycle, they didn't go into a lot of depth of it, but they watched and showed clips of each of the riders and how the group went through the selection process of who was going to be actually in that ride and make the show. So,
and I could have a lot to comment on that right now, but I don't want to influence our listeners.
Right, exactly. So we would like to talk about it when we have their input to discuss too.
Definitely want to have some input.
So it was interesting, and needless to say, it brought up a lot of conversation between us discussing what we were watching and seeing, and and it's just full of breakthrough moments for so many people on different levels, and I just would be curious what others think too.
Yeah, I'd like you to go out, check it out. Let me know if you would handle certain situations the same way, because that's what occurred to me. It got me thinking about how would I handle things differently,
right,
and about the person I am versus somebody else. And that's neither good nor bad, if you will, because we handle things all different in our own ways. But just check that out. Let us know. We'd love to hear back from you what you think of Phantom Lake on Amazon Prime. Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we going from here? Like I said, I do want to come back to this. Even if we have to watch it again, I want to maybe watching it again, we might even see a different perspective.
That could be true.
Yeah.
And the one thing was that the leader was the only person that had experienced this trip before.
Correct.
So part of me, now that we're talking about it, wonders if he experienced what the riders were experiencing at one time.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. The only reason I said that is because he describes how he found the place and how he was with a group of people. So that particular circumstance, but maybe prior to him when he first started riding. But I would have comments about that.
Imagine that.
That's right. Anyway, I will reserve those comments.
Discuss it any further, but check out Phantom Lake on Amazon Prime. Please be sure and check out the chuck-n-deb-show.com/voicemail and let us know what you think.
Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy, where hairdressing is our passion. Your spotlight experience begins with a hands-on, learn-by-doing approach. A true salon experience. We create entrepreneurial hairdressers with endless opportunities. Financial aid available for those who qualify. Got a creative flair? A passion for people? A desire to be a leader in the fashion industry? Then call our Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado at 719-390-9898. Again, that number is 719-390-9898, or visit www.coloradosprings.tonaguy.edu. To learn more about our school in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, call 208-930-1276. Again, that number is 208-930-1276, or visit www.coeurdalene.tonaguy.edu. You know a career in beauty is right for you. Now choose the cosmetology school that puts the spotlight on you. Attend the Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy.
All right, welcome back.
I'm super excited because this coming Saturday, some good friends of ours, the Rocking Roadshow, Alvy and 1-3,
Love those
are
guys.
doing a very unique bike night at a place called the Kilted Axe in Wesley Chapel. So pretty awesome. I think that their event is going, 10% of the revenue is going to go to organizations that support disabled veterans, and this particular business is owned by veterans. So I think that's pretty cool.
I love that. And we are going to try to make it up there. In fact,
That's our
we
plan.
hope that we can. Hopefully everything works out the way it's supposed to. I don't know because Deb hasn't got all the stuff out of the bag yet, and I can't carry all that on the motorcycle.
Wah, wah, wah. Other important things are Daytona Bike Week is just around the corner.
Man, yeah, that's true.
It is March 6th through the 15th in the beautiful Daytona Beach area.
And you always wonder, what's the weather going to be like? Remember that time we went, Deb?
Yes.
Spur of the moment? And
Well,
that pop tent that we put up at the embankment campsite?
And we may be doing that again this coming year. I don't know. I haven't
we
really
might
made
be.
any
That's
plans.
true.
So, heck,
That's true.
here we come. But
And if it's cold, we already have how we're going to be because
Absolutely.
we did.
We
were
know.
at least we slept in our full riding outfit.
Yes.
And somebody told us, hey, you were supposed to take off all your clothes and
spoon. I
Well,
can't wait. Let's spoon, baby.
There you go. We're going to be spooning.
All right. So those that maybe
If
have
it's
not
cold.
attended that event before, there's a couple of things you need to know before you get down this way. There are 3 primary locations for the event. There's the downtown area, there's the racetrack event area, and then Destination Daytona. Harley Davidson's got all sorts of stuff.
And
so 3 different areas where stuff's going on and everything in between.
The best recommendation I can make is go with someone who's been there before.
Great
It's the best thing that's
suggestion.
ever happened to us.
Yep, absolutely. Another amazing thing, I think we've talked about this before, is the all-female ride. I actually talked to the event coordinator today, and it is going to be an amazing event for women riders. So that's happening April 3rd through the 5th up in the wonderful Jacksonville, Florida area, and it's called Two Wheels Together.
Well, I think that's interesting. You're probably wanting to move on, but you know how I am.
Of course, throw me a curveball.
So you're telling me a little bit about your call with her today, and you start to tear up a couple of times.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Is this now a good time for us to talk about it? Because you just told me to get over it when I was looking at like you, WTF, what's going on, Deb?
Exactly. You're looking at me like, Deb, come on, suck it up, Buttercup.
All she says is get over it.
Get over it. Yeah, I had to get
what am I getting over? I'm just wondering what's going on.
I had to get my
Want to
tough
share any
girl.
of that?
She is a very inspirational speaker, and the things that she talks about very much resonated with things that I plan to talk about in my future. So it was a great connection with women, but I think what also makes what we do so special, you and I mean, Biker Life Radio and the Chuck-n-Deb Show, is that it's not just for women, although I think that I've got a lot I can offer women, but we have a lot to offer couples, and we have a lot to offer men and women, and that's what makes us who we are. And so it was just a great thought process for me, saying we're heading and where we want to go.
I figured it out. You started crying because you had to realize that you're married to me.
I have to do this thing with you.
That's right.
Yes.
It's like, now I get it.
If I
I
was
should
a
never
sing-
asked.
if I
No
was
wonder you said just get over it.
If I was a single woman,
Now
boy,
I
the
know the
world
truth.
would be in my hands.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, it would, too.
Oh, wrong answer. So
See,
also,
now
I
we're
wanna-
seeing the insights to the real Deb.
Yeah, whatever. I also want to make sure our listeners know about Leesburg Bike Fest, because it's not the big name event in our state. Bike Week and Biketoberfest.
It is a big one. That's one of the bigger
But it is a
events.
big one. And here's their claim to fame. I love this. The world's largest motorcycle and music event packed into 30 blocks in 3 days.
That is great. That's the way to
is.
do it, too. By the way, you're going out of town that weekend.
I am.
Dutch and I are planning on some serious debauchery and stuff.
Really? And then you're going to make mayhem in this little bitty town?
Not really, because I don't know what debauchery means.
Okay.
And Dutch will probably back out because he's sort of,
But he likes to make mayhem, so he might be there all engines fired up and on.
I would say a lot of things about Dutch since he's not here. But I'm going to be real nice.
Okay.
Anyway.
He's a good dude. So the last thing I want to make sure that I talk about is the International Female Ride Day, and that's actually happening in our local area at Rossiter's Harley Davidson on May 2nd. Now, again, I cannot participate in that day, really, because I'm scheduled to teach a riding class that day. So I will be participating, and my shout out to Rossiter's Harley Davidson, my challenge to them is let's get that May 2nd class full of female riders and show them what International Female Riding Day is all about.
That's a great idea, Deb, because once you guys are done with the class, hopefully there'll be other women riders around, lady riders around, and they can immerse themselves in all that. There might be a lady orgy going on. I don't know. But
lady what? No, wait.
Did I say that on the radio?
You did, out loud. Oh, my gosh.
Sometimes my imagination gets the best of me.
Takes over. And so, no, that was my idea is that, they could be there and that could always be a memory for them to go, I got my license or I got my endorsement. I took my class on the same weekend as the International Lady Riding Day. So I thought that was a cool thing. Yeah. So that's my challenge to Rossiter's Harley Davidson. Let's kick it up a notch and get that class full of female riders.
Deb, I have an idea.
Okay. Throw it at me.
Be sure to take some of our decals.
Okay.
Out to that event because we've got the Biker Life decals that you can actually get if you wanted to go to right now. Go out to bikerlife.co.
Okay.
That's bikerlife.co, and you can order your very own decal that you can put on whatever you want.
Yeah, we had someone that actually put it, I think, on the tank of their bike. So that was kind of cool.
Well, let's talk about that just for a second because I want to get that guy on the show.
Okay.
Because I saw a picture of his bike because Eddie took it.
Yeah.
Everywhere Eddie, and that guy had stickers all over his bike. So now the Biker Life Radio even doesn't just say Biker Life Radio on it.
Right.
It says Biker Life. He was proud,
Absolutely.
and he put it on his gas tank.
I believe so. I wasn't sure exactly
we didn't get him on the show. Do you remember who he was?
I can maybe track him down. I know he does have a connection with Everywhere Eddie. And he said, I've got stickers all over my motorcycle, so this one needs to go on there too. And he messed it up the first time, came back for a second one. And I think that he probably had perfected it at that point. We talked a little bit about some techniques, but I think they're super cool. It's one on back of my car. They look great.
Yep.
And if you are a proud biker, part of Biker Life, then you want to make sure you wave that signal loud and proud with a Biker Life decal on the back of your vehicle or helmet or wherever you want.
Yeah, we'll need to get him on the show for sure. And if you're listening, whoever you are, young man, give us a call, hook us up, look us up on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot for putting that on your bike. And I think that's a significant place that he put it on his gas tank. So that's real cool. Again, if you'd like to get one of our decals, actually you'll get two.
Right.
Because if you're like me, you'll mess up.
Da-da-dum.
So you'll get two decals at bikerlife.co. C-O.
Absolutely.
All right, Deb, what's next?
We are going to just shift gears just a little bit toward the end of the show because we are running out of time.
How much time? I wonder.
That.
Well, it is running out.
We are
hey,
running
but before
out.
we got to go,
okay.
I'm sorry, I got to do this. I don't want to end on a negative note, but it has been carried through this whole week.
Okay.
So we ride in. We don't ride our motorcycles into work because we just don't. Okay.
Right.
We have professional jobs, and every time, and I let Deb drive because I'm in control. So.
A controlling
I
side
see
by
every
driver.
day. You know what I notice and witness every day?
What?
Are young people texting while they drive.
Oh, yes.
I've
Goodness
yet to see
gracious.
somebody my age, and I'm not saying I'm guilt-free on this, all right? I'm just saying that when these people do it, they text and drive.
They don't
It's not
stop.
driving and texting.
Right.
They drive. No, they text and drive.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
that's
you
all
said
they
that
do.
right.
Their faces in the phone. They lift their eyes up occasionally
Simmer
to
down.
see what's going on.
You don't need to get your blood pressure all wound up.
okay.
No, unwind
Well, you know
a
what?
bit.
I
Yeah.
just found out that they're the reason my blood pressure's up this week.
Really? Okay.
That's dangerous for not just motorcyclists, for anybody on the road.
Absolutely.
There's got to be something done about this. It's ridiculous. And if you're young, or you don't have to be young. See,
No.
I don't want to be going after millennials.
If you're texting and
Come
driving
on,
and
use
texting
your head,
and texting,
people. There's
put-
nothing that can't wait 20 minutes. I mean, come on. You can wait till you get wherever you're going to go to find out who's on Facebook. For God's
Absolutely
sakes.
right. Yeah.
Anyway,
we've
that's
watched
my
it.
rant. If you don't like it, send me a voicemail.
Stop texting.
Send me a voicemail or meet me somewhere.
If you don't like it, stop texting and driving is the only thing we can say.
Hey,
So,
it's just for the better good of everybody on the road. Seriously.
And the point is where you're going with this is it's not a matter of picking up your phone at a red light and glancing
No.
and setting it down. It's been this constant
They just
stare
sit
at
there
their
with the phone right there.
right up there, thinking that if it's level with their dashboard, maybe it's not as dangerous. But
they're not looking
paying
at the,
attention to the road.
They're not looking at the road,
whatsoever.
period.
Right.
Nothing. They don't look at the road. They look at the phone and
Right.
they just glance their eyes up and then it's back down on the phone.
Right.
Come
It's
on,
crazy.
people. Your life's more important. Other people's lives more important than anything on your phone.
Absolutely.
And if nobody's
right.
taught you that, then maybe, well,
It's time
I'm
for
not
a
going to
lesson.
do it.
It's time for a lesson.
Well, you
All
said,
right.
no,
so
what's going to happen
so we're
is
not
it's going to be
ending-
learned the hard way.
We're not ending on a negative note. So how are you going to
Thank
twist that
goodness.
around
I'm not
and
going to
make
twist
it
around.
good?
I don't have anything, positive to say. Most people probably didn't hear a lot what was going on because we were talking over one another quite a bit.
Well, I'm just trying to make sense of your rant a little bit for those that maybe aren't
In other
used
words, she's
to
trying to control me.
Oh, gosh.
I'm used to this. 30 years almost of marriage, or is it 29?
This year is 29,
Well, that
so
means
don't rush
it was
it.
a year before that, too.
That's right. Yeah. So, some say forever. So that's okay.
It's not forever.
No, it's not.
That's scary. Maybe I want to bail now.
No, you're right. Don't even think about it, mister. The one thing I do want to make sure we end on is that if you're in the area, please be sure to come out and visit us out at the Rocking Roadshow's Bike Night at the Kilted Axe in Wesley Chapel. So be sure and let us know that you're out there in the marketplace. We want you to see those decals because they're awesome. You did a great job
More
on
coming.
them. That's right. And so, again, it's all for a good cause because 10% of the revenue at the Kilted Axe is going to go to organizations that support disabled veterans, and it's something that we have a heart for as well.
And not only that, you've got to meet LOV and 1-3. These guys are fantastic. They're part of the reason why we're here today, and we love those guys, and they're the best. They're the best dudes you're going to meet. Go meet them.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if you're lucky, you might even get to meet Kim and 1-4. So the ladies of the bunch.
All right, very good.
All right.
So where are we wrapping it up?
Well, we're wrapping it up because now you've got to make sure, first of all, get out there, watch Phantom Lake, and be sure to let us know what your thoughts are about the show at chucknddebshow.com/voicemail. Leave us a comment there, but also follow us on Facebook. Now, we have got a big goal. We're over 1,300 likes and followers on Facebook. Our goal is to get that up over 2,000 by the end of the month.
Yep.
That's just a couple of days away. So if you have enjoyed anything that we've done, Dutch's segment, his book, whatever the case may be, please share it with your friends and help get us up to over that 2,000 mark by the end of the month. So that's just, again,
That'd be great.
Hush, hush, rush, rush, rush.
And that way you can also get connected with Dutch as well on his biker Behind the Bars.
Life Behind Bars book series. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely right. So be sure and connect with him at that, as well as DutchVanAlstin.com and BikerLifeRadio.com is where you can find all of the episodes if you want to catch up and see what's been happening.
Listen, we've got a lot of great things in store for you. So we'd like you to continue to listen to Biker Life Radio. Thank you so much for listening. We're truly grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And we look forward to speaking with you next week.
We'll see you on the road. Ride free, ride safe.
Ride hard.
You've been listening to Biker Life Radio with Chuck-n-Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon right here on 1490 AM WWPR. We thank you for listening and invite you to join us next week.
Our sponsor today is Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy. If you desire to be a leader in this fast-growing cosmetology industry, then contact Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado at 719-390-9898. Again, 719-390-9898, or visit coloradosprings.tonyguy.edu. For more information about Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy, call 208-930-1276. Again, that number is 208-930-1276, or visit them at coeurdalene.tonyguy.edu, or visit the Chuck-n-Deb Show sponsor page for more information.
Attention! Get a pen and paper ready. Call this number now, 516-407-9135. Listen. Would you like to make money using your cell phone? If so, then stop everything and listen to what I'm about to say. I can't believe how simple and fun this is. All I do is give out this phone number, 516-407-9135, and this 100% phone-based business spits out $100 commissions paid directly to me. You have to hear this. Call and listen to our short 2-minute intro, and if you like what you hear, simply press 1 to get all of the details instantly over the phone. You'll have all of the details and info you need to make a decision within 10 minutes from now. I love this and you will too. Call 516-407-9135 now. Again, call 516-407-9135. That's 516-407-9135, or visit supermansuccess.com.